Hi, I'm Andrew McQueen, Product Manager of Spectrum at Compac Sorting. We're here at headquarters in Auckland, New Zealand, and are very glad to say we've had a successful 12 months with Spectrum, selling over 500 lanes. There's a lot of demand in the pipeline from existing customers and also those with equipment from other manufacturers. This is going to be a look behind the scenes of the team that brought you the world's greatest grading platform, Spectrum. I hope you enjoy the tour.
Hi, my name is Rob Davidson. I'm the Mechatronics team lead for the Spectrum platform. So the great thing about the Spectrum platform is a customer only needs to purchase this one product, and we can upgrade that as time goes on and technologies advance.
The benefit of investing in a platform means that future investment cycles are smaller and quicker, so you're able to upgrade as the requirements of your packhouse change or as finance becomes available.
During the concept phase of the Spectrum platform, we tested a lot of different lighting methods, indirect and direct lighting. The quality of the grading performance in the Spectrum platform relies on a few key points, and this is lighting, the rotation of the fruit, no shadows, no reflections, and we believe we've succeeded in that. So the cameras chosen in the Spectrum platform, as well as being high definition, they also have a good signal to noise ratio and high color fidelity, and this helps picking up subtle and small defects. So we designed the Spectrum platform so that it has optimal performance, so there's no mirrors involved. As the fruit rolls through the cabinet, we get 100% coverage of the fruit, and it's very even lighting, so we get the best results with the cameras that we're using. One major advantage of the Spectrum lighting is that because it's so diffuse, it removes any shadows and reflections that come off the fruit, so we get a great result with regards to our grading performance.
So as part of the Spectrum process, we released two new machine learning algorithms. These are called Smart Skin and Smart Map. Respectively, they are a new method of defect identification and defect classification.
My name's Kurt Bagby. I'm the grading team leader here at Compac. So we had a bunch of research algorithm developers with lots of experience from the different industries they'd been in the past, and they were brought on board, bringing their vast experience, and they had ideas and different things that they'd tried in other industries, world-leading industries, and we took on some of those and developed things like Smart Map, Smart Skin, and all of the tools that we use now. One of the things we've been able to do with Smart Map is separate defects that we haven't been able to separate before. For example, in apples we have punctures and limb rub, and they look very, very similar in colour and IR. With the introduction of our second IR wavelength, we're able to tell the two apart, and Smart Map does a really good job of doing that. Before, you had to figure out a pattern yourself, and now you just basically click on the two examples with Smart Map and it does it for you. What we wanted to do with the new version of software is keep the complexity that we've always had so that users can control and make it do whatever they want, but at the same time make it simple for new operators and not so experienced operators so that they can pretty much get most of the job done. The good thing is we've left both forms still in the software, so the really experienced users can go back to the old way that they know and tweak things that the machine has given them up front. This kind of ability gives packhouse operators confidence that any new fruit that comes into their machine, they'll be able to grade it satisfactorily. In the software, when we look at defects, there's about 150 to 200 different characteristics that we calculate, and trying to figure out how all those numbers fit together to characterize what a defect is very hard to do. So the machine learning side of things actually does that thinking for us, per se. The human mind just can't comprehend those kind of numbers. With high quality images, you're able to zoom in on smaller defects, so you can find things that you couldn't otherwise find. And the high color fidelity that we have allows us to do better color separation so that we can find different things that we couldn't find before. Things like light scarring, katydid, pure minor, and oleo, things that we can do now that we weren't so successful at before. The combination of the Smart Map and Smart Skin have helped us to really deal with those.
Spectrum's proven really great results in displacing labour in the packhouse. At Washington Fruit in the USA, we removed all pre-graders before the machine, and at Titan Farms, a peach packhouse in South Carolina, they've reduced their manual graders from 48 right down to 12.
Customers actually really love the new software. Things that they haven't been able to do in 5 years, they were able to do in 5 hours, kind of thing. One of the operators was sitting in his little control room, and quote unquote, he was sitting back eating a bag of chips, just watching the machine throw away all the bad fruit because he knew it was working well. in previous years, and on the old line, he constantly has to be on top of it, making sure that the fruit hasn't changed too much.
Due to the success of Spectrum over the last 12 months, we've had a lot of interest from Envision packhouses looking to upgrade to Spectrum. We've had equal interest from packhouses with equipment from other manufacturers who would like to retrofit Spectrum into their packhouses. As a result of this demand for retrofits, we've started an engineering team that's solely focused on retrofitting Spectrum cabinets onto equipment from other manufacturers, meaning that every packhouse can have the world's greatest grading platform. Thank you for watching the behind-the-scenes tour of the world's greatest grading platform. I hope you found it interesting and informative. Everybody at Compac's really excited about the product and the response from the market, so we hope you are too.